Yesterday, March 8th, was International Women's Day. I don't normally keep up on such things, but when I learned about the day, I immediately thought of all of the women whom I had met on the Tahoe Rim Trail last summer, especially the other ladies who, like me, were through hiking the trail solo. These ladies, whom I interviewed for a separate project, were amazing, and in honor of International Women's Day, I want to highlight how each of them inspired me. Laura, aka Fancy Dragon. One of the things that inspired me about Laura was how welcoming and encouraging she was, and just what a passionate person she is. Passionate about the outdoors, passionate about hiking and backpacking, and especially her passion for inclusiveness in the wilderness. Her personality just shined. Heidi, aka Smokey, aka Sparrow, yes, she has two trail names, was super inspiring to me last summer because she was on her first solo backpacking trip on the TRT when I met her, and she had just gotten back on the trail after having to get off the trail due to a medical emergency. She had actually spent 3 days in the hospital and at home recuperating, and then came back and was completing the rest of her trail. Unfortunately, she was not able to get the whole thing done in one go-round because go round, get it? It's a circular hike. Yeah, sorry. She was not able to get the whole thing done in one shot because she ran out of time, but she did come back at a later date and pick up those sections that she had missed. So I think it was super amazing that Heidi didn't let a little thing like having to go to the hospital stop her from completing her thru hike. Carol is the first of several ladies who inspired me because they admitted that they did not see themselves as being in shape, and yet they were doing 15 to 20, 26 miles per day. Another thing that inspired me about Carol is that she specifically moved to the Reno area in order to be closer to the TRT to fulfill her dream someday of hiking that trail, and I am happy to know that she finally successfully completed her goal. Brandy had come all the way from Maryland to hike the Tahoe Rim Trail, and while she says that she's not in shape, she was still managing to hike 16-mile days. I think that's just amazing. She had also fallen several times on her hike and was suffering from some banged up knees, and yet she was still able to crush out those 16-mile days. So I just think that that was absolutely amazing. Alicia is another one of the ladies I met on the trail who considers herself as not in shape, and yet Alicia was crushing out 21 to 26 mile days. That is absolutely amazing to me. Another amazing thing about Alicia is that she told me that a year prior to meeting on the trail, she had stopped drinking and was overcoming alcoholism in her life. Way to go, Alicia. That is such a monumental accomplishment. Congratulations. Tu told me that before COVID hit, she was a weekly hiking adventurer. She would go out every weekend on hikes, though she didn't have much backpacking experience. But since COVID hit, she had not done anything. Her level of training before she hit the TRT was one hike around her neighborhood. I think that that is just absolutely amazing, coming from somebody who trained a lot in the year or so prior to my thru hike, and then here she went out on one walk around the neighborhood before hers. She does say that while she was out of shape for the TRT, after about 7 days, she had pretty much gotten back into shape and was doing pretty good. So way to go, too. Carrie also did not have much backpacking experience before she started her thru hike of the Tahoe Rim Trail, but she lives in the Tahoe area and had always wanted to hike it. So one day she literally walked out her front door and started her thru hike. I think it's totally cool that she could start and end her thru hike at her own home. She also was managing 15 to 20 mile days. That's pretty awesome for a not experienced backpacker. On the opposite end of the spectrum is Kendall, aka Fugitive. She completed the Pacific Crest Trail the year before. Not only is that cool, but she was doing a 7-day thru hike of the Tahoe Rim Trail when I met her. So not only am I in awe of her because she is a PCTer who completed the trail, but she was just flying around Lake Tahoe. So pretty awesome. Emily, aka Nails, came all the way from Florida to hike the Tahoe Rim Trail. She told me that it was her 4th big solo hike. In the past, she had completed the Appalachian Trail, the Colorado Trail, the Tour Mont Blanc, and now the Tahoe Rim Trail. So talk about a experienced backpacker, and she likes to hike them solo. She says she likes going on her own and being on her own, and all of her big hikes like that have been solo. So that's pretty amazing to me that she has all of that under her belt. Such an inspiration. Caitlin, aka Slip, had just gotten off the John Muir Trail a few weeks prior to starting out on the Tahoe Rim Trail. So it was pretty cool to get her experience of what the two trails are like and how they compare and how they differ. Also, I loved her philosophy of being alone out in the wilderness and how you can really use that time to just process your life. It really lined up a lot with my own philosophy of being out there on my own. So it was really cool to meet Caitlin and to pick her brain a little bit about the John Muir Trail as well, since I have that in my sights for the future. Sarah had actually just celebrated her 51st birthday on the trail the day before I met her. She told me that while she didn't necessarily want to be on the trail solo, that she was okay with it and that she would rather be out there on her own than the lack of a partner stopping her from getting out there and enjoying herself. I thought that attitude was pretty amazing. Also, she is a JMT veteran and has hiked the entire section, the Washington section of the PCT. So she's a pretty amazing lady who's not going to let a little thing like not having a hiking partner stop her. However, it was also pretty cool that her boyfriend was able to surprise her for her birthday and unexpectedly join her for the last couple of days of her thru hike. Meg, aka Properly Chill, is a PCT section hiker. Being a large section hiker on the PCT shows in what she considers a chill day on the Tahoe Rim Trail of 15 miles per day. She considers that taking it easy. I also appreciated her comment in the interview where she said that when you hike solo, you really get to find out what you're like when you're not around everybody. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to hike solo, and I think it's a great experience that anybody who does these long hikes should try going solo every once in a while to just find out. Stephanie, aka Wolf, was an inspiration to me because not only is she an experienced backpacker, she has done the John Muir Trail, the High Sierra Trail, the Trans-Catalina Trail. She was on the TRT and was planning to do the Wonderland Trail the next summer. Not only all of that, but that she would sit at a creek crossing with me for 2 hours and just chat. It was pretty amazing to have that experience with her and to know that this really experienced backpacker was willing to sit around and chat with the newbie that I am. So that was pretty amazing and a wonderful experience. I just loved Molly's attitude about when things go wrong on the trail. She said, If you're doing a thru hike and don't have a bad moment, it doesn't really complete the experience. And I just love that because there are always going to be bad moments, bad days, bad minutes, bad seconds, bad whatever on thru hikes. And you just got to take it and roll with it and just realize that it's all part of the experience. Bridget is truly an inspiration to me. She is 63 years old and was out there thru hiking the Tahoe Rim Trail. She was doing 12 to 15 mile days and had actually done a 28-mile day when the bears ate her food. She had it in an ursack and they shredded the ursack, and so she had to do a 28-mile day into town to get food. Absolutely amazing. 63 years old. She says that she is in the best shape of her life. She actually did the Camino Santiago, I think the year before I met her on the TRT, which is a 500-mile trek. Absolutely amazing. It truly does give me hope that at 41 years of age, as I was last year when I did the TRT, that I didn't consider myself in the best of shape, but that I could get in better shape, and that just getting older doesn't mean you have to be out of shape. And so thank you, Bridget, for being the inspiration to all of us youngins that we still have a ton of life ahead of us and a ton of experience, and that we can still get out there and enjoy life and enjoy hiking and backpacking even 20 years from now. So such an inspiration. Thank you. These next several ladies I did not interview for my project because they were not hiking solo. However, I did meet them on the trail and they were an inspiration to me. Katie's sweetness shined through in all of our interactions. We had actually met online prior to getting on the trail and knew that we would cross paths at some point. And when we met up, she made me feel like a celebrity. And it was really fun and really put a bounce in my step and a smile on my face for the rest of the day, and inspired me to really keep up with my Instagram and such, which is where we met. And so I just thought it was a really cool experience to meet her and to feel like the celebrity. Kat and I had also met online previous to getting on the trail, and she is one of those people that are so sweet and inviting and amazing that it was so hard to say, no, it was impossible to say no to her when she invited me to hike a quarter mile back the way I had just come to camp with her and her ladies. I thought it was pretty amazing that Kat was out there taking other less experienced lady friends on a thru hike of the Tahoe Rim Trail. And it was just so cool to see the way that she took care of them and taught them, and they had a wonderful experience, and it was fun getting to camp with them for the night. Bridget and Anna were lovely, sweet ladies who were welcoming and invited me to camp near them at one of my camps, and it was a great evening just getting to hang out with them around the lake and just hanging out and talking. But what really inspired me is that while they weren't doing a thru hike of the Tahoe Rim Trail, they were doing a section hike, and these ladies were carrying some heavy loads. Their packs probably weighed 15 to 20 pounds more than my pack did, and they were doing the same amount of mileage, if not more, than I was every day. And so that was pretty amazing that they were out there having a great time, having a blast, and doing it with loads that most people would be shocked at. So good job, ladies. Last but not least is my girls, my sister-in-law and my two daughters. My sister-in-law had been backpacking on one little overnight backpacking trip before, and after this weekend, she says that she is hooked. It is so inspirational to take somebody new out in the wilderness and to see them develop the same love of backpacking and hiking as I have. And we have so many plans for the future, and to see her enthusiasm, it just gets me fired up all that much as well. On the other end of the spectrum is my eldest daughter. Age 14 at the time, she says, "Hiking and backpacking just isn't my thing, Mom." However, I really appreciated her attitude because even though it's not her thing, she was still willing to do it with a great attitude and actually enjoy herself because she knows how important it is to me and how much I wanted her to be there. And last but definitely not least is my youngest. She is my hiking buddy. She goes with me on so many of my training hikes and my day hikes and my backpacking trips, and she always wants to be there. She is an absolute joy to have along. She pushes herself to be stronger and better and always sees the magic and the little things and enjoys being out there on the trail. And it's just so much fun to have her along. And she is one strong little girl, even with as small as she is. She carries her own weight and keeps up with the best of them. Definitely an inspiration. One last thing, and I hope I don't sound egotistical when I say this, but I have to include myself on this list. When I watch the videos or see the pictures or think about my thru hike, it almost feels like it was another lifetime or even another person who experienced all of that. Life is so different now than it was on the trail, and even in the weeks and months leading up to it. I have new goals and aspirations, but they seem even more out of reach than thru hiking the Tahoe Rim Trail did. However, when I remember all that I went through to accomplish that goal, I know that I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. So remembering my accomplishments is an inspiration to me, and I hope that your accomplishments are an inspiration to you as well. The purpose of International Women's Day is to celebrate the achievements of women. The purpose of this video is to do the same. I hope that at least one of the ladies in this little project is an inspiration to you. As women, we are stronger than we seem, and we can do anything. Thank you for watching.